welcome everybody to DorkTunes, and this is a special one because, well, two reasons really. One is you don't get to see my face this week. I'm in a very secret location, so any pictures would give it away. So unfortunately, you've not got my face this week. But fortunately, and for this special episode for EGX Rezzed 2021, we have our esteemed guests, Niels and Barry. And Niels, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. I'm Niels Van Der Leest. I'm a Dutch composer and sound designer for games. Been doing this for 15 years now. Been working on a plethora of games, and my latest title to have been able to work on was Horizon Forbidden West.
Fabulous. And now you, Barry?
Hello everyone, I'm Barry Topping. I'm a composer, sound designer. I work on games primarily, but also, short films, animated stuff. Most recently, I worked on a game called Paradise Killer at Kaizen Gameworks. Yeah, and that's sort of my most recent thing, so you might have heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard it mentioned once or twice.
Good, that's all that matters. Once or twice is fine.
So obviously we are here to talk about video game music, and primarily what we'd like to kind of discuss is kind of like the creative process for you for writing for video games, and how that might differ between both of you and others that we know. So when, for example, Niels, obviously you've got congratulations with Horizon Forbidden West. That is phenomenal. Really can't wait to play that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, later on this year. So how did the writing process for Horizon Forbidden West differ to Horizon Zero Dawn?
Well, not so much actually in that. I mean, there's more instrumental pieces now than there are just percussion, as in Horizon Zero Dawn. So yeah, in terms of instrumentation and having people in the studio and recording instruments and whatnot, and building my own instruments, it didn't differ that much from the last time. Still doing research about all the tribes that you have to write music for, and see what fits best for the situation.
Awesome. And do you think, just actually something that's popped in my head, has the kind of tools at your fingertips changed from Horizon Zero One to the new one, Forbidden West? Have you got more for your arsenal, basically, musically?
Oh yeah, more as in physical tools, you mean?
Yeah, physical, kind of electronic, all that kind of stuff.
Oh well, yeah. Of course, Horizon Horizon Zero Dawn was already heavy synth-based music, of course. Still trying to keep it close and not big orchestra and all that. But yeah, for Forbidden West, Horizon Forbidden West, I started collecting synthesizer modules for my modular synthesizer and other synthesizers. Well, that's a money pit, I can tell you. Yeah, and
so what do you have? Do you have a Eurorack or?
There we go.
Nice, very nice. That's a lifestyle.
Yeah. Question for you both.
Yeah.
Are you like so many other composers that I know, when you start or announce a new project, that you treat yourself to a little something for the studio?
I couldn't possibly say.
Honestly, because
I'll be honest,
so many composers that I've spoken to do exactly that.
Yeah, but I mean, Especially on a project this size. I mean, sometimes you have projects that are a bit smaller and have a very small time frame to make music in. So then you use the tools that you have at hand already. But if you have a long period of time to work on a project, I mean, Horizon Forbidden West took 3 years. For me personally, from starting the music and then just finishing it, and then you want to build your musical palette because you don't want to recreate something that has already been done. I mean, you want to be fresh and everything, and yeah. So yeah, you treat yourself loads.
Pete, sorry if I'm stepping on your toes here, but I actually have a question for Niels, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just when you were saying that, when you return to an IP, you're making a sequel to a game that's already been really successful. Is it pressurized to go bigger, to do better, or does it feel like kind of putting on an old pair of jeans? I mean, I imagine it's a balance, but when you started, did you feel any sort of pressure to really excel, really exceed what you've done before?
Yes, of course. In my case, I can't talk for the other composers, of course, especially not for Alexa, who just joined the team and it started fresh. I can imagine that it feels different for him because of its an existing IP. But for me, yeah, I mean, I was asked to write more musical stuff, so not just the percussion-based stuff, just the rhythms and more the almost diegetic stuff. So it's now, I mean, yeah, not to say that drums aren't real music, but you get what I mean, right? So and then it's just searching for how do you want this to sound? Because I've been on a project, of course, but it's a completely different side of the music palette that you are used to working with. So yes, in terms of the old genes, getting the team back together, that was fun, and know the people that you're working with. So communication is really way more easier than the first go, because you know what's expected from you in terms of how you deliver stuff and all that stuff. So that's just less stress. But yes, of course. I mean, yeah, that. Does that answer your question?
It does. That was great. Thanks very much. Pete, you can leave if you want, man. We got this covered.
Okay, I'll steal it. Actually, on that point, and this is one for you, for Niels. Did you feel pressure because because Horizon Zero Dawn is so big and was so well kind of received?
Yes, because you and this goes for the whole team. I think you want to make sure the experience is as good, if not better. And I mean, I think you want to stay up there. You want to. Fans are expecting something now from us or from the game, and they want to hear more. And yes, I think the direction for West went in terms of music and in terms of everything, but is quite a big step up. But yeah, of course there's pressure, and I mean, then a couple of weeks ago, they announced our involvement with the project, and I was nervous, of course, because what are the people going to think? I mean, we've been listening to this for 3 years, and now people are going to listen to it, and perhaps expecting something, and then they liked it. Happy days.
It's that old second album thing, isn't it? It's like having to follow up your most popular things. Yeah, tricky.
Really tricky, but fun. Now the pressure is off. So that's smooth sailing.
Well, it is now for you, particularly because you've just moved house.
Well, that is not just yet smooth sailing, because we still have a contractor in the house making a lot of noise.
You'll be left alone soon,
Yes.
and then I get to start the process with our kitchen and stuff. So great. So, how was recording Paradise Killer for you? I mean, it's a new IP. You know, nobody knew.
Yeah. Paradise Killer was made under pretty fortuitous conditions, I guess. I wrote and recorded everything in 6 months, because I was brought onto the process quite late on. And like, I think when we recorded vocals for our sort of theme song, that was basically like the week before lockdown happened. So like,
Wow.
we got lucky. But writing that much music in such a short time obviously had its challenges, but being able to completely immerse myself in the brief, which was specific enough to say this is the style of music we want, but they gave me enough freedom where I could just basically do whatever I want. And once we got past the first couple of demos, we really settled into the idea of it didn't have to be just one style. As long as there was sort of an umbrella style that married everything together, I could basically just do whatever I wanted. And having that level of freedom meant I could work much quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, because I had a few instrumentals involved, great sax player, great guitarist, obviously Fiona sang on it. But yeah, pretty much everything else I was just doing myself. It was, I didn't have a team that I had to work with. And in terms of stakeholders in the project, it was really only Kaizen, and we have like a good relationship because we're friends. And I think they were just quite happy to let me get on with it. So yeah, being able to just sit there in my wee studio and just absolutely blast through tunes was very great. And it was a nice distraction from what was happening at the time as well. So
yeah, definitely. And do you think that kind of the process that you put when you're composing, is that something that you're going to continue with every other game, or is it going to change with each game, or does it even?
I mean, I guess for me, I'm quite happy to do anything really. Like, I don't really feel set in one style, but it depends on the project. I guess when you do something as stylized as Paradise Killer, which if people don't know, Paradise Killer is very sort of influenced by city pop, vaporwave, general 80s stuff, a bit of 90s stuff. So I feel like if someone heard that, it's specific enough that they might be like, oh, I'm doing a project where that style of music would really work. So, I'd feel like I'd do anything, but because you don't want to get typecast as a composer, same as anyone does. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite happy to do anything. I don't really have an answer to that, I guess.
What about you, Niels? Has the way that you've approached kind of composing changed over the years?
Yes. Well, it's of course a job that doesn't necessarily have a handbook or something.
No,
it's not a book you can read and then you know how to compose. So the more experience you get, the more you think differently about things, or you listen to things differently, or you in the last 15 years, music for film and game has changed really rapidly. And you don't want to keep writing music that's from 2004, for example, in production style and everything and whatnot. So you try and keep up with what's happening around you and what colleagues are doing. I think that's really important to keep listening to what your colleagues are doing and enjoying it and learning from that as well, I think. So yeah.
And I think you think just a story that David Howson said, who composed for Thomas Was Alone and some other bits and pieces like Cube 2, but he basically did Thomas Was Alone again like Barry by himself, but it was like he literally had one keyboard and that was kind of it. And look how successful Thomas Was Alone was. It blew up, you know. And then obviously everything changes. You know, for example, you're hoping to build a studio, am I correct?
Yes, in our garden. Yeah.
Yeah. So 10, 15 years ago, you would never have had that or even thought about it, maybe.
No, I was in my in the spare bedroom in our house, and that's funny story. That I just stopped working as a live musician, as a percussionist, and I wanted to pursue my dream job, which is composing for music. And I was very sad in my studio all alone with the walls coming at me. So yeah, I mean, then I moved to a studio and now I'm back in the attic and
Temporarily,
and hopefully in half a year, in a year, I'll be in the garden. Yeah.
Good. So I have a question for you both. Thinking about the last 10, 15 years in music composing and video games, is there a particular soundtrack that you wish that you had been part of, or you really admire and you think that absolutely 100% hits the brief and absolutely completely almost makes the game, you know, the game and the music kind of just are one almost? I can see you thinking.
Yes, I have an answer. I personally think Undertale was a massive soundtrack for me in how important the soundtrack is to the experience of the game. I mean, all music's important to the experience of the game, but I know I've not played Undertale for years now, but I can still put that music on and it makes me tear up, like, because it was such an important part of such like a great experience. And it fits because I mean Undertale is it's a mishmash of styles, and the soundtrack is a mishmash of styles as well, but it supports that. Yes, so yeah, for me that's really a recent soundtrack that, I mean, there's tons obviously, but Undertale's one that sticks because of, you know, the emotional impact it had.
Yeah, for me it's an older title. There's a lot of titles that really hit home, but one that really made a big impression on me, that was Bastion. And I mean, just the whole style and a game having songs in it was just epic.
Mind blowing.
I think that was the first game, apart from every Final Fantasy intro, that had songs in it, and actually a song part of the game. I think every game they did have songs in them. I didn't play Pyre, but I believe so.
Yeah, awesome. The I think for me, one was a fairly recent one. It's probably one of my favorite soundtracks of all time, and one that not many people I think have played, but That Dragon Cancer by John Hillman. It's just stunning. I've heard it over and over and over again, and it still makes me cry. Just there's a particular track on it. I think I've said this about a million times on here, but "Awake, Oh Awake, My Joel" is probably the most heart-wrenching song I've ever heard. And it's hardly, it's not a big song. It's really sparse in its composure, but it's just stunning. Yeah, definitely. Excuse me, getting a bit emotional there. So obviously you've got lots of fun, exciting things coming out. Excuse me. Some of them you can speak about, and obviously some of them you can't speak about. So you think 2021 is going to be a good year for gaming? I'm holding my thumbs up too, but you just can't see me.
Yeah, you would say that though, wouldn't you?
You can't see what else I'm doing, so that's pretty lucky.
I have to cut that, I'm afraid.
So anyway, we're out of time really. So I just wanted to say a huge, I mean huge thank you, because we know we've had some issues getting this together. And yeah, it's just a massive thank you. You know, I will definitely buy you a beer, and we are definitely going karaoke.
Perfect. We should do that. Rezzed, if you're listening, you have to get us in person next year. Then we can do live karaoke after the panel.
Oh yeah.
That'll be a treat.
See how good you are.
I want to tell you now, I'm really good. So look forward to that.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. And that's the end of EGX Rezzed 2021 from DorkTunes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.